thing that we do know for certain, for fact, is that after he left this dance hall here, the Star Ballroom in Monterey Park, he did travel about 2 miles to Alhambra, a neighboring community, where he went to another dance studio, the Lele Studio, where in fact we do have our Jeff Nguyen, I believe, standing by there. And Jeff,
that's right.
You spoke to one of the owners of the studio.
Yeah, we spoke to her about 30 minutes ago, and she did confirm to us that this is where investigators got those images of the suspect. In fact, when you walk up to the front door, you will notice that there is a gold frame, a gold-colored frame that matches up with the photos that the Sheriff's Department put out. The steel door right up front, it matches up with what you see in those images. Let's go ahead and do this. We want to roll you some video of the celebration that was here at this studio last night. The studio, Lele Ballroom and Studios, was celebrating its 29th anniversary. Brenda Say says that her family owns this studio. Her mom ran it for years, and after her mother passed away, Say and her brother ran it for a while. And this afternoon, one of the instructors told us that the students at Lele Studios in Alhambra also danced, and they also went back and forth to Star Dance in Monterey Park. We learned that ballroom dancing is very popular within the AAPI community, especially among senior citizens. Folks time and time again told us that it is a great form of exercise. It allows them to get together with their friends, and Brenda Say did not want to disclose too much, but she did tell us that more than 2 people stopped the suspect here. She also mentioned that her students are also like family to her. Take a listen.
They've been very loyal, you know. They've always came to our studio. My mom, she actually ran the studio for a while before she passed away, actually. And then me and my brother, we ran it for a while. And, you know, she always said that the elderly folks here, they always come and support us. So and they've always had, like, they've always supported us, so.
And certainly they supported you, but I mean, you also provide a certain outlet for them. I mean, I spoke to one gentleman. I don't want to put words in your mouth. Do you want to kind of elaborate on what this place means to so many people?
It's a place where, you know, this is what my mom said. She said that, you know, well, where would all the elderly folks go to hang out and dance if you know, because, you know, times have been tough, especially after COVID and all the other ups and downs. And she just said that it's very important, you know, to always remember that, like, there's not folks that would come to your studio for years and years. Like, those are very special people that will remain loyal. So, and I know a lot of them were victims last night.
And one of the dance instructors here also teaches over at Star Dance, and he believes, we have not been able to confirm this, but you know, a number of people who showed up today believe that after the violence, that deadly mass shooting at Star Dance, a number of people here believe that the folks over there called over here to kind of give people here a warning, and that is why they believe this shooter was stopped here. The Sheriff Luna, says that at least 2 people wrestled with the suspect and took his gun away. That gun has been described as an assault pistol with a high-capacity magazine. We are told, or we have learned by the social media posting for Lele, that the plan is to reopen tomorrow, and at that time, when students and teachers arrive here, they will need to be screened before going in. For now, we are live in Alhambra. Jeff Nguyen, KCAL News.
And Jeff, you know, when we saw the photos that the Sheriff's Department first released of Hu Can Tran, we didn't see the gun, the semi-automatic weapon, in the photos. Presumably that's when he was walking in. Have you heard anything yet about, did he have it hidden under a jacket? Did he pull it out? What was the sequence? Do we have any idea? And exactly how were they able to wrestle it? I'm guessing that they saw it come out very, very early on to get to him. Yeah,
you know, I think you and I are probably on the same, you know, lane when it comes to, being curious about that. But having said that, Brenda was very heartbroken, so we wanted to be respectful to her feelings. I did ask those questions, and flat out, she basically says that, the people that did that, the heroes, she wanted to honor their privacy and allow them the space to do that when they are ready to do that. And so she didn't want to reveal too much of that, but she did acknowledge the heroism that took place here. We did reiterate to her that the sheriff had reported to us and all of the reporters, including Rick Montanez, that it was 2 people who took down the suspect, and Brenda seems to believe that there were more people than that. Maybe technically what happened was it was 2 people who've confronted him, but last year, some of us covered a similar situation down in Orange County at a church where maybe, one person tackles or 2 people tackles a suspect, and then someone else might, kick the gun away or, pounce on him or, just jump on him to kind of swarm him to separate him from the gun. So maybe technically the sheriff is right in terms of like 2 people confronting him head on. But, a lot of times when these sorts of things happen, other people step up to kind of separate the weapon from the suspect. So, yes, I certainly tried my best to, broach her on that subject, but, since she was being so gracious, and the last thing I want to do is, to trigger her any more than she was dealing with, because, the sorrow that was on her face was completely visceral. If you are a human being that can fog up a mirror, you can sense how much pain she was in. And so, I think in the waning moments of something like this, the last thing you want to do is, to not be respectful to someone's sorrow. So, at some point we had to just kind of let her be. And, and she also says that she has family obligations. I won't get into it too much because I want to be respectful to her since she was so kind to me, but I wanted to let her get back to her family.
She was, 100%. You could really see it on her face, the emotions, how much this place means to her, how much it has meant to her family. But they will reopen tomorrow. I've seen several people come down there behind you. You spoke to one of the instructors there. Do you feel as if the community is ready to come down tomorrow?
I'm certainly not going to speculate, but let me tell you at least what I do know. And what I do know is that this place is so meaningful to so many people. Before you guys came to us, there was a lovely couple that lives pretty close to here. And they both took classes here. But not only that, but the husband's father took classes here. And Mr. William Powell told me that his father danced until, get this, the age of 98. And he says the reason he took these classes well into, his life was because he had friends here. Right? It was a great form of exercise. The motor skills that you gain from it are so valuable to him. And then after Mr. Powell retired from his career, this was an opportunity for him to bond with his elderly dad. So he too took classes so that he could spend more time with his father. So I hope that kind of encapsulates what you're trying to get at. Yeah. We certainly don't want to speculate whether or not people are going to show up, but we know anecdotally that this place has so much meaning to a lot of people. And it's not just this place, it's Stardance as well. There was another couple, another lovely couple that came here, and they were concerned about some of their friends because their plan last night was to spend the eve of the Lunar New Year together at Stardance, but for some reason they chose not to show up. And they also said that the reason they were able to get together or become a couple was on the dance floor. So, Leslie, I think earlier you had mentioned the diversity of this community. This was a perfect example. The husband is someone of Latin descent. He's a Latino, and he's married to a Chinese American, and they found love on the dance floor through ballroom dancing. So they were basically microcosm of the impact of these classes and what they mean to so many people, not just in terms of fun, but, you know, on a very personal level as well.
You know, it is such a strong community. That's such a beautiful story, and it bears stopping for a moment and thinking, even in this horrible tragedy, there is no one gunman that is going to take the strength away from this community.